Hi, everyone. How are you today? Hi in the bushes. Hello, hello, hello. Just full disclosure before we even get started with this video today, just a reminder, the closed caption is typically on in this channel as long as providing that I remind to turn it on actually at the beginning of each stream. And so I will be 1 full minute behind you in the chat. It does put a slight delay on the live stream communicating over to you, so it takes me about a minute to be able to see your messages come through. So just so you guys are aware of that. But if you need closed captions, as I said, they are available during this live stream for anyone who needs to utilize that service. So, guys, we have a lot to talk about today. There's some things that I want to update on the Wynter Wagoner case before we go deep into Camila's case. There's been a lot of information that has come out about her. We did talk to her, about her on goodness, it would have been Saturday evening because I did not go live yesterday, but we did talk about Camila briefly Saturday evening at the end of the video that we did for Wynter Wagoner, and it seems like a lot of things have come out. They did a press conference update today. From the police, so that we can take a look at that information. We're going to take a look at some maps that have been shared as well, so that we can see kind of the areas that they're searching, the things that are going on in that case. But before we go into all of that, as I mentioned, I want to talk about Wynter Wagoner. For those of you guys who was following her case, she was kidnapped by Christian Delgado, and he was in court today. She was found over 500 miles from her home. She went originally missing from Kentucky. She's a 13-year-old girl missing from Kentucky, and she was found in Montgomery County, Maryland in the home of a 37-year-old man is where she was actually located at. So let's take a look at all of that information. Hi in the bushes, how are you today? It's good to see you. Hopefully we have some more friends joining you soon. I know that I did not preset this live, so notifications do take a minute to go out and notify people. I apologize for that. Hi, Ramblin' Rome. It's good to see you. Awesome that you are here today. So let's take a look first, though, at this information for this Maryland County man, Christian Delgado. We did finally get a photo of him, which I don't think is on this article, ironically enough. But we did finally get a photo of him to see exactly what he looks like in this situation. So it says Montgomery County man accused of kidnapping Kentucky girl. He claims that this whole thing has been a huge misunderstanding, right? He was under the impression, according to his family, I did see an interview from them, that she was 18 years old and that she left on her own accord to go there. And then he later found out after he was arrested that she was 13 years old. Is that true? Did she lie to him? Did he not do his due diligence to look into her age and things like that? I don't know. I don't really care. Dude is a creep either way, right? This is the first you're catching of this case. So Wynter Wagoner was 13 years old. She disappeared in October. She had been missing for 73 days, I believe it was, before she was found. Now, I've seen a couple different reports on this one as far as how she was located. Police said that she had made, or that somebody had seen her, thought it was suspicious, and reported that tip in, which led to them being able to go and rescue her. And then her aunt has done an interview with someone claiming that Wynter actually reached out to her, told her where she was, and asked for her to come get her. So I'm not sure which thing is true, but we're going to look at both things. So it says Montgomery County, Maryland man facing kidnapping charges for allegedly taking a 13-year-old girl from her home in Kentucky, and he is not fighting his extradition from Montgomery County back to Kentucky. It says Christian Delgado, 37, spoke during a hearing Monday, telling the judge that the whole thing is a misunderstanding and that he is a model citizen. If you guys remember, whenever we first found out his name, we did pull up his arrest record and he only had traffic violations. There was nothing, no serious crimes and things like that in his previous history. Not somebody that you would think of being a predator going after 13-year-old girls. But it says Delgado is accused of kidnapping 13-year-old Wynter Wagoner, who had been missing from Rockcastle County, Kentucky since mid-October. Montgomery County Police said a tip from someone who had a strange feeling seeing the girl with Delgado led to her being found in a Silver Spring home over the weekend. It was also revealed in court that Delgado grew up in Montgomery County and then left and has been back living in the county again since 2023. He recently took a job as a used car salesman, according to the testimony in court. Delgado asked the judge, John Moffat, to release him so that he could go to Kentucky to turn himself in to face the charges, saying that it would allow him to prepare his defense, talk to his lawyer, and not be a burden on the taxpayers. Like, no, this is not happening. Sorry, guy. You are not going to just walk yourself into a different state to turn yourself in. I am certain that he probably had an inkling or seen some type of reports about her missing. Right? There's no way. There's no way he didn't. This was all over the news. I would find that hard to believe, I guess. The judge denied the request, and Delgado waived his right to an extradition hearing. He is being held at Montgomery County Central Processing Unit, where he's awaiting extradition to Kentucky. Several of his family members attended the court hearing. One started to say something in court, but was cut off by the public defender. Officials said Wagner was picked up early from school by her foster parents on October the 14th, and when her parents went to check on her, they discovered that she was gone. Montgomery County Police put out a release Saturday morning announcing that Wagner had been found with Delgado inside of a Silver Spring home in the 12,000 block of Dalewood Drive after receiving the tip that she might be in the area. Police said that Wagner was taken to an area hospital for evaluation but did not provide details on her condition. And her father, Dusty Wagner, had pled for her to reach out in the weeks leading up to her discovery. The family offered a $5,000 reward for anyone leading to information and returning her to safety. So, again, he's claiming huge misunderstanding. He had no clue that she was a child. He had no idea. I struggle to believe that. Just based off of her appearance, she might look older than 13, maybe like 15ish, but she still looks like a child. I'm sorry, but I cannot even start to say like he had no idea. I can't even start to agree that that's possibly a thing, right? So let me pull up this other article. Does talk about her mom, or sorry, not her mom. It does talk about her aunt and her aunt's communication with her. And so this article, let me pull this like this. So it says, "Come get me, how a Christmas Day phone call led to the missing teen's discovery." So it says, after 3 days, Wynter Wagner's aunt describes the moment that everything changed and the uncertainty that remains. Why is that doing that every time I try to click the next arrow? So it says Haley Whitehead was doing laundry on the evening after Christmas when her phone rang with what looked like a spam number. She almost didn't answer it. It rang immediately black, and Whitehead told me, and then I answered it. Or sorry, and when I answered it, I heard crying, like sobbing and sniffling, and I just knew. I knew when I called it back that it had something to do with Wynter. Hi, Lise. How are you? Good to see you. On the other end was her 13-year-old niece, Wynter Wagner, who had been missing from Rockcastle County since October 14th, 73 days earlier. I said, Wynter? And she said yes. And God, thank God you're calling me. Are you okay? And she said yes. And I said, are you really okay? And she said, yes, Haley, I'm okay. While staying on the phone with Wynter, Whitehead immediately began texting the U.S. Marshal Services with location information. She didn't want to take any chances. I said, do you want me to come get you? And of course, she's bawling. And she said, yeah, come get me. Whitehead recalled, and I said, okay, tell me where you are. I'll come get you. I don't care. She said, I'm a long way away. Wynter told her aunt that she was in Washington State when she was actually in Maryland, about 600 miles from home. So Wynter either didn't know where she was actually located, or she thought that Maryland is semi-close to, like, Washington, D.C. I'm not entirely sure how far Montgomery County is from that, but I wonder if she's seen signs for Washington on her way to this place in Maryland and thought maybe that she was by Washington State. Um, Being that she's 13, maybe she doesn't know that much about geography, and maybe she had just seen signs for Washington and thought that's where she was. So Whitehead tried to keep the conversation light, even asking her niece if she had stolen a car, which made Wynter giggle. I didn't want to seem overly serious because of course I'm still afraid, right? I don't know what situation she's in. Within an hour, law enforcement located Wynter. Okay. Says, acting on the information from Whitehead, Montgomery County Police and the U.S. Marshal Services responded to a home in Gaithersburg, Maryland, around 5:52 p.m. on Christmas Day. They found Wynter inside with 37-year-old Christian Alexander Delgado, who was arrested without incident. The Rock Castle County Sheriff's Office had already obtained a warrant charging Delgado with kidnapping. He's currently being held at the Montgomery County Detention Center awaiting extradition back to Kentucky. I've been asked why we don't have a picture of Delgado. The answer is that in Maryland, jails do not release mugshots publicly. You can only get a mugshot if you have a subpoena. After the arrest, Wynter was taken to the local hospital for evaluation, which is a standard procedure to ensure she is physically okay and to provide any necessary medical care. It says I can't put into words the relief. When law enforcement called to confirm that they had Wynter, Whitehead said she felt a calmness she hadn't experienced in months. I can't put into words the relief that just washed over me. She said, of course, I was still nervous and torn to pieces, but there was a calmness that I hadn't felt in a while. But that relief has been complicated by what's happened since. Whitehead said she hasn't been able to see or speak to her niece since that phone call. She doesn't know exactly where Wynter is or when they'll be reunited. So we kind of talked about this the other day during our live. Unfortunately, these kids, after they go through this, they do go through a process where they have to be evaluated both mentally and physically. And they go almost through a counseling type center or even a detention type center prior to being reunited for their families because in a lot of states these are still criminal offenses for the teenagers to actually run away, so it does complicate things. The other side of things is because Wynter was technically a ward of the state when she ran away, she was in foster care. However, nonetheless, the state of Kentucky was her guardians, and so they would be dealing with that, rather than placing her directly with family or directly back with her foster parents. So it's going to be a long road. Sometimes this can take several weeks before the family is actually able to pick up Wynter. But again, because this is a foster situation, it could be longer than that. Obviously, it's going to go through the courts and things like that. High BC, high bush or high sealed evidence. I don't know why I said bushes. I think because you said in the bushes. So the Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services has discretion over those decisions, and Whitehead says they haven't been able to provide clear answers about what happens next. They can't even really answer that question either, which is scary. Well, because she's awarded the state technically and her family doesn't have custody of her, a lot of the information that the family members are likely asking for, the State Department likely can't give those answers because of privacy concerns for this child, unfortunately. And I know it's kind of chaotic considering that she's just been missing and they've all been worried sick about her and things of that nature. But unfortunately, it is ultimately for her protection why they're not getting straight answers about where she is or what's going on. If anything, her dad might be able to find out that information because he is in the process of getting custody back. But as far as I recall from reading through this case, she was removed from her mother's home because she was SA'd. And her mother's boyfriend is currently being charged for the SA that occurred in that household. And so it's not one of those situations where she was like in this great hunky dory environment prior to being randomly placed in foster care, right? There was a reason that she was there. There was a reason that her family members did not have custody of her. And so ultimately, they're going to look at different ways to keep her safe while figuring out a reunification plan. Hi, Marie. How are you? No, thank you for being here. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already. Trying to rebuild the algorithm. Haven't been live for a while. It's been a couple days now we've gone live, but we still got to rebuild the whole channel back up, you guys. It's like starting back over with 1,000 subs all over again. So, and again, this is just kind of talking about the foster care situation and things like that. Um, and so, and ultimately, part of the reason that she didn't go to other relatives rather than being placed in foster care is because, unfortunately, some of the other relatives did also have criminal records. And so, unfortunately, you can't place children, even if they're family members, in a home with criminal records. And so it does again complicate things. But I'm not really worried about why she's in foster care or where she's going back to, things like that. More so worried about Christian Delgado. So let me pull up his photo because they did finally release his photo with one of these articles. So this is him. This is our 37-year-old man that had her. Here we go. Oop. So, not much to look at. I don't I question, he looks pretty young to be 37, but I know that sometimes people age differently. Um, but this is him. This is who had her. So we know for sure that photo that was shared the other day, those people who were putting out that TikTok and stuff like that saying that, he was that guy, that random picture of that person with one friend, that was completely fake, likely made up by that TikToker who was sharing it, because obviously this is him, looks nothing like that photo that person shared. So but yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and now that we have updated you guys on Wynter Wagner's case and where that's kind of at, we're still awaiting extradition to Kentucky. We'll follow up on some of those charges and see what he ends up being officially charged with. I am going to guess that it is going to be more than kidnapping whenever everything is all said and done. But we will see and continue to follow this and update as things go. But let's go ahead and move over to the case about Camila. So Camila, we started covering on Saturday night after the Wynter Wagner case. BC kind of brought this to my attention to help spread awareness about this. This case is going everywhere at this point, but we are going to go ahead and continue covering this anyways and talk about Camila because she is out there somewhere. I am not entirely sure what the circumstances around her disappearance are going to turn out to be. Because right now they do have a video that they have just released today of her walking down the streets. A lot of speculation and things like that did come out about her being standing next to her car. I don't know where that just went. There it went. About her standing next to her car. A lot of people were enhancing the photo, saying it was a man, saying that she had pants on, saying that she was wearing all black, things like that. This screenshot now of her walking down the street that police have shared does show her in more of a short like outfit, like she has a sweater on and the shorts that they have been describing. You can clearly see that she's not wearing long pants in that situation. And so she has been missing. There are some maps and things like that that we're going to take a look at showing where the dogs have traced her scent. Police are saying that they do believe that she is in imminent danger because of the circumstances surrounding her disappearance. There is some mental health concerns, but they are also checking border crossings, trafficking type situation, just concerned that she could have been picked up being so close to the border and being in this high trafficking area in San Antonio. She was out on a walk. She was known to go for walks in the mornings, and sometimes that can be extremely dangerous whenever you are doing something that is a habit. It forms a habit for predators and things like that. That they could have been watching her in order to pick her up, things along those lines. She did recently go through a breakup. They're saying that it was a mutual breakup. However, the emotional concerns that they have about her, I guess she has had suicidal ideations in the past, could explain. A lot of people thought it was very suspicious that she was sleeping in bed with her mom and things like that. Unfortunately, the mental health concerns in this case could actually explain a little bit more about why she may have been snuggled up with her mom at night, just as a comfort to her if she was going through a lot of things emotionally. So, extremely, extremely concerning case all the way around. So, let me go ahead and play this news report for you guys, though, if it loads. Just kidding. Maybe.
It's been nearly a week since 19-year-old Camila Olmos was last seen, and News 4 has learned the FBI is now involved in the search efforts. Search crews gathering again today to continue sweeping the area near her home. She was last seen leaving her Northwest Side home on Christmas Eve. Home surveillance footage captured her just before 7 a.m. in front of her house on Caspian Spring in Northwest Bexar County. Her mom says her daughter typically goes on early morning walks regularly. This time, though, she left behind her cell phone. Investigators have said they have no reason to believe, or they do have reason to believe, rather, she may be in imminent danger.
Now, we consider imminent danger to be anything from self-harm all the way through somebody actually kidnapping Camila. And all of those possibilities exist at present. We can't rule anything out at this point in the investigation.
So far, investigators have utilized agency search and rescue resources, drones, and support from Alamo Area Search and Rescue, including the use of cadaver dogs.
Okay, so let me go ahead and pull this up. This is the press conference that they did a few hours ago. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this press conference and see exactly what they have had to say. So far, they've done a couple of these little news interviews and things like that where they have talked about her disappearance, but we haven't actually gotten an official update about anything from the police until today. And so we're obviously going to pull it up whenever they actually get here, start doing the press conference. But let's take a listen to this. Just kidding. Let me audio boost it. Hold on one second. Let me figure out how to audio boost it. Because that is recklessly low. Very poor audio. Hold on, I gotta move some stuff around. Sorry. Switching sides. Pause for dramatic volume boosting.
Is everybody ready? Okay. Good afternoon. We're out here at the scene of our mobile command post. We're stepping up operations. Up to this point, we've been relying upon the school to allow us access, and the school's been great partners. But at a certain point, we see that we don't want to interfere with their operations either. And so we've now set up our command posts. Again, they've been gracious enough to let us use the parking lot. That way we can come out and do what we need to do without disturbing their ongoing operations. But as of now, as the last few days, we've been talking about the lack of video from the community. Up to this point, really the only thing that we had some videos and stills from her driveway, from the young lady's driveway, and what we believed was her right around 7 a.m. Late yesterday, we were made aware of a second video that somebody from the neighborhood here was on their way to work about 7 a.m., about the same time, and saw what they believed may have been her on a dash cam. This person had a dash cam operating in their vehicle. They shared that video with us. And again, at present, I'm not able to say with 100% certainty that this is the young lady in the picture, but it does certainly have the clothing description on this pedestrian certainly does match up with what she was wearing at the time. And so, we're sharing that information, that video with you all in hopes that somebody may have collected similar video. Up to this point, really, this was the best direction of flight that we were able to develop. Again, at first, all we had was video right there, right around the residence, and so now, if this is indeed her, we've got what we believe to be a good direction of flight. And so what it looks like is that back over this way is where the residence is. It looks like she may have come out onto Wild Horse Parkway and taken a left and was actually heading this general direction when a motorist driving to work passed her and was able to capture the video. Again, we'll share it with you all. She is wearing what we believe this young lady was wearing about the time that she was last seen. Light blue pajama shorts, if you will, and a dark colored top. And so we're asking anybody, again, with any information to please give us a call, 210-335-6000. You can also email us at bcsotips@bear.org. And what we're asking is, once again, folks from the community, if you've got any surveillance camera video, or if you've got a surveillance camera that maybe you haven't had an opportunity to check up until this point, please make it a point to look. Again, the last video that we have is about 7 a.m. Christmas Eve morning. But, again, even if you don't live here in this immediate neighborhood, maybe you live 2 or 3 communities over, hopefully it doesn't cost you much more than time to just look through your surveillance camera video from later that day and let us know, and let us be the judge of it. What we don't want is somebody to go, well, I'm not 100% sure that it's her. It's just a video of somebody, the top of somebody's body walking up my street. Show it to us, send it to us. Let us be the judge of whether it's something usable or not. What we don't want you to do is feel silly calling us, and in reality, you're holding on to something that could help us out with this case. Any questions to this point?
What resources do you have right now? Is the FBI involved? We heard some of those reports.
The FBI has been involved up to this point. The FBI is always a good partner with us, and so right now they've been helping us out with going through some digital devices, some digital evidence, enhancing video, things of that nature. Homeland Security has also been helping us out with regard to checking outbound flights, border crossings. Not that we have any direct information that would lead us to believe that she left the country, but again, we would be remiss if we didn't check everything. And so, at present, there's nothing to share with regard to that. But again, we're thankful for our federal partners for giving us access to their databases that they have. Esta tarde voy a dar más información tocante esta niña que se fue de la casa el día 24 de diciembre. Nosotros hemos andado en esta búsqueda desde ese tiempo. Nosotros físicamente estamos checando el área. Cuando menos unos niños have bouts of depression at a certain point. So we've got several different theories working, and we've got to, the theories that we're working upon run the whole gamut of possibilities. We do have, unfortunately, some indications of suicidal ideations from this young lady in the past. We do know that there was some depression issues in the past, but as a young person, what young person doesn't have bouts of depression at a certain point? So we can't necessarily afford to just say, oh, well, that must be what it is. We've got to consider all possibilities, from disappearing willfully to the possibility of self-harm, to somebody may have taken her. Maybe, after this video, somebody may have taken her. And so we've got to consider all possibilities at this point. Unfortunate for us, we can't start narrowing that down until some evidence takes us to that, and we're not there yet.
So what is being searched right now? What areas are being searched right now?
Right now, physically, we're searching as close to this area here. But as we're able to, and as more resources are coming online, we're able to expand out a bit more. We've actually got a cadet class that's out here that's physically searching. One of our law enforcement cadet classes is out here searching. Mounted Patrol is out on the ground as well. The drones, the dogs, we've got some volunteer search groups that are out kind of doing their own thing, coordinating with us to the extent possible. but we're concentrating our efforts on this immediate area. John Paul, I'm sorry,
You have mentioned in the past that you believe she's in imminent danger. Can you elaborate as to why?
Sure. With regard to the imminent danger, what led to the clear alert was the information that we had that there may have been some suicidal ideations in the past, some attempts to self-harm in the past were a consideration. And so, again, it's just one of the many theories that we're exploring at this point. But, obviously a young person like this, small in stature, very young, very impressionable, I would say anytime they're away from home, and we don't know where they are, there's always an immediate danger there.
How far
Concern.
the dash cam video where you sort of believe that you saw her? How far is that from her house?
The dash cam video that we saw is maybe a couple blocks from her home, maybe 2 blocks at the most. I'm just guesstimating there.
Holding anything?
No, she just appears to be walking by herself, and it to the person that captured it, it didn't really mean much until such time as they put 2 and 2 together and said, wait a second, on my commute, I saw somebody, and maybe, and she took a chance. The person that brought this to us took a chance, and hopefully it'll pay off for us and it'll help us at least it's given us a better direction of flight to be able to concentrate our efforts on.
Algo, si nos puede dar una cronología de cómo desde el primer video y luego el siguiente video y hasta dónde ha llegado ahorita la investigación, donde creen que...
Sí, al principio de la investigación solamente teníamos un video de la casa, que aproximadamente las 7 de esa mañana, que ella, besito de eso, esa mañana aproximadamente, shared it with us, figuraba que era nada importante hasta que vio esto en las noticias y compartió el video con nosotros. The video that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, I just mentioned in Spanish, the date is way off. The time is way off for whatever reason. The lady that shared it with us, the couple that shared it with us, I should say, they know that this video was captured on this day. They were able to attest to that fact. And they know that she leaves for work every morning around 7 a.m. And so even though the date and time is off, she's fairly certain or very certain that video capture was right around 7 a.m. just after the time we sasaw her at her driveway.
Mencionó lo de que ella sentía que estaba en peligro. ¿Cuál es la razón? Y habíamos escuchado de unas notas.
Mira, bueno, nosotros tenemos información en esta investigación que esta niña sufrió de depresión. En algunos tiempos sufrió de depresión y que tenemos información que ella en algunos momentos habló de cometer suicidio. Ahora, se sabe que muchos jóvenes de esta edad sufren con depresión y de vez en cuando también hablan de hacerse algo ellos mismos. Por eso nosotros no nomás nos estamos concentrando en esa idea, sino que todavía tenemos que...
Que habían perros olfateadores, hasta dónde...
again, to that point, all we had was her driveway and really didn't know from there. This at least gives us an idea. It was okay, this general direction coming from the residence itself. But with that being said, we still won't say with 100% certainty, it's got to be on this side. Well, we're still going to consider all things, but obviously it's going to steer us a little bit more strongly toward this direction, this general direction. But again, once she hit that roundabout that's back here, she could have gone anywhere from there. So it does narrow it down a bit, but just not 100%.
So we were told that she goes on walks, that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
So where she was, is that a normal place for her to go on her walk?
It's a normal, along her normal route, from my understanding. This young lady is a bit of a fitness enthusiast. She was very much into going to the gym and very much into walking, but again, normal part of her route.
You mentioned digital evidence and digital devices. The FBI is assisting you with that. Can you elaborate on what those?
Sure.
Devices and evidence is?
She left behind a cell phone, which, as you know, a young person that age, or even a not so young person, who leaves their cell phone behind, right? It's unheard of. But she left behind a cell phone. She left behind an iPad, and so we've had the opportunity to go through some of that digital evidence. Again, thanks to the help from our friends at the FBI. I can't part with too much from what was gleaned from that, but we were able to glean some information from it.
As far as checking flights and ports of entry, are you doing that because something indicated she might have gone that way? Or?
No, there was no indicator that she left, but it's something we'd be remiss if we didn't check, because the last thing we want to do is spend a whole bunch of time searching this immediate area and then she flew to Mexico. There's no indicator here that that occurred, but we had to check. I mean, just like we had to check. I can tell you one of the things that I personally saw too yesterday is, she's a U.S. citizen. This young lady is a U.S. citizen, but we still checked with ICE to see, do you have anybody by this name in your custody? Again, not any indicator at all that ICE may have picked her up, but we know that ICE is operating heavily everywhere right now. And unfortunately, being a U.S. citizen is no guarantee that you're not going to get swept up in something. Thankfully, we were not. That didn't lead us to anything. They didn't. They indicated that they did not have her in custody. But again, we would have been remiss if we didn't at least ask that question. Mira, nosotros estamos viendo en cada parte del condado que gente se desaparece. Nosotros no tenemos razón para conectar estos casos. Ya se sabe que el año pasado tuvimos otro incidente acá en esta vecindad, cerca de aquí, donde una jovencita de Cuba, era inmigrante de Cuba, se desapareció. Ella desafortunadamente la encontraron en el monte. Ella se había quitado la vida ella sola, ella misma.
Emitieron una alerta de que ella estaba
hasta en Chicago. Los medios nacionales están. Well, so the volunteer search groups are kind of doing their thing right now. We would just appreciate it if they coordinate with us. Far be it from us to say don't search. If they feel it in their hearts to do that, we'd appreciate them coordinating with us to let us know where they're going to be. We certainly welcome the help if they so choose. But we would ask that they if they see law enforcement searching a particular area, that they just kind of stay out of that area. The last thing we want to do is be tripping over each other. But certainly if they feel that it's in their hearts to search a certain area, we'd appreciate that.
Just your thoughts on that.
I'm sorry?
Have you found any relevant physical evidence during these ground searches?
No, well, look, I certainly wouldn't be the type to discount anything at this point. I can tell you we haven't been made aware of any evidence that we would say is meaningful. But again, with that being said, if any of these search parties come across anything that they feel is relevant, call us. Call us. What we would recommend or what we would ask is that they not touch it. Because if it does happen to end up being some sort of evidence, we don't want that chain of custody tainted in any way. So if you happen to see something out there, call us, 210-335-6000.
Just your concern that we're now in day 5 without seeing her.
Look, always cause for concern. Young folks, a lot of things can happen to a young person in a matter of hours. So yeah, the fact that we're five days out and counting is certainly cause for concern. A lot of things can happen to this young lady. That's why it's incumbent on us, on this community, to everybody come together with the objective of getting her back to her family sooner rather than later.
Can you talk about what agencies are helping outside of BCSO on the ground, or is it just you all?
Right now, we're the only law enforcement agency out here on the ground that I'm aware of. We have coordinated with SAPD and with Helotes PD, obviously both great partners, because some of the search areas border their city limits. I'm certain that they'd come out and help us if we asked them to, but for right now, it's just BCSO. The FBI has been helping us out, as I mentioned, with some of the technologies, and then HSI has been helping us with databases and things like that. ¿Mande? Bueno, pues aquí vamos a estar por unos cuantos días, cuando menos, y ya de ahí vamos a ver dónde nos lleva la investigación. Ok, gracias.
Can you confirm if that picture in front of her car is specifically her, and why they have, like, some people are saying that they have leggings?
I can't confirm for certainty that that's her. We believe that that's her, and that's the.
All right. So that was their press conference. Really, a lot of the information is, please keep searching, please keep sharing video information, things like that you may have. Um, it's a lot, right? It's a lot of It's a lot of people searching for her and concerned. Here is some of her interviews that have taken place today. So we have her dad's interview. We'll take a look at this first. Um, as BC mentioned earlier, he's upset, as you can imagine, because he is looking for his daughter. She is a daddy's girl, and so it's concerning. It's completely concerning.
Father,
Yes, I'm Camila's father.
tell me a little bit how you're feeling right now.
Well, I'm feeling down, devastated. The only thing is my faith. It keeps me going, and God, and I'm in a faith, and all the support here, community, churches, all over, family members, all over. I know the prayers.
I
That's
talked to
what's
your,
keeping me strong.
yeah, I talked to your friend over here, and he was telling me how your daughter was just always with you, kind
Yes,
of like a daddy's girl.
daddy's girl. That she always called her that, daddy's girl.
So tell me a little bit about how the search is going, where we stand right now.
Oh, we're standing good. They're doing an awesome job. Everybody, also all the rescues, the sheriffs, the Baxter, everybody, and I know God out there too.
Any leads on what could possibly had happened? I know your friend said that she might have said her goodbyes to you a day prior.
Oh, she came in and said and told me she loves me, but that was usual for me. She was daddy's girl and always loved me, and she loved me and cared for me. Remember that I love you? I said like nothing. She always said that to me, so it wasn't something awkward or different. I never thought unusual, but she ain't the type of person who would have done something like this. She always put her, first. I mean, she wouldn't put her. She always put anybody first before her, and caring, loving, Christian.
So that kinda disturbs me. So one of the friends is saying that she came in and said her goodbyes to him, but he's saying, "No, it wasn't unusual." I don't like that they're trying to paint this as if, "Okay, well, that's it. She just went off somewhere and killed herself." I do think that there is still, unfortunately, like, not that I want this to be the case, but I do think that there is still, unfortunately, a chance, that she could have been picked up by somebody walking along this road. Uh, it's v it's a very high possibility. I mean, the road that she was walking on is a well-traveled road that anybody could have seen her and snatched her up. She was not a big person. She was not somebody, yes, she was physically fit, she was athletic and things like that. I don't know how well she could have fought off a kidnapper, if that makes sense. If somebody would have just pulled up alongside her, hit her, threw her in the back of the car, something along those lines. Now, would somebody necessarily do that at 7 a.m. during a morning commute uh whenever it's likely that somebody could have drove past, for example, with the dash cam that we see, and did that? Um, I don't think it's unheard of. We have seen people do far bolder things in far more public places. And so I don't think that it's unheard of. I mean, and I know some of you guys who have followed my channel for a while, you have seen these videos before, but I've shown you guys videos of like men walking up to women with their young children and literally grabbing them right on the street corner and trying to run away with them, being fought off by bystanders and things like that. So it it's not out of the question, unfortunately, for somebody to have snatched her up, which I think honestly in what we're looking at here is the better of the 2 scenarios. Um, let's think about the border crisis. So that's something that has been mentioned, is about ICE being in the area and they are picking people up, things like that. We kind of brought that up Saturday whenever we talked about this case. Somebody said, "Why would she have her ID on her?" It's not uncommon if you're stopped to be able to present your ID. It wouldn't surprise me if her mom had instructed her or if she thought to take her ID with her so that she could have presented her ID if necessary. With that being said, with the border being closed down, with people not coming in and out at will like they have been able to in the past, let's think about the amount of children and women who are not currently being trafficked across the border in our country. Those numbers have greatly reduced these predators, these traffickers, things like that. I truly believe that a lot of the missing teens and things that we have, a lot of the kids who are being lured out of their homes via the internet and things like that are also being targeted by human traffickers. I do think that people still get kidnapped for purposes such as that. And so, unfortunately, um, I do think that the lack of people being able to be trafficked across the border could result in a rise in these types of crimes where people have been targeted, young women are targeted, could be kidnapped and trafficked in that way, because we have reduced the amount of people that they're able to bring in and out. And right, he said she was going along her normal route. That is the pattern. That is where she normally walks. It could be absolutely anyone that sees her every single day, knows that that's her routine, knows that that's her pattern, and walking along those routes, and bam, there you go. Maybe you made friends with her to lure her in. It's possible. And so, honestly, the better of the two scenarios is that she has been kidnapped. And I hate to say that because the alternate theory that they have right now is that she left her home, went on her normal everyday walk to go somewhere to kill herself. I don't accept that theory. Not until they find her deceased somewhere. I don't accept that theory. I would much rather hope that they have the possibility to find her and to bring her home safe to her family and her friends who love and care about her. I do not think that this is a situation where she is a gone girl and she planned to go for this walk in just her little shorts and her hoodie, to run away for the rest of her life and to go live her best life somewhere, right? She didn't take her car, she didn't take any money. She took her ID, that's it. Her ID and her car keys is all she had with her, allegedly. I just don't think that that's a gone girl situation to pack nothing and just go run off to live your best life. Um, and I'm hoping and praying that she did not do the unthinkable and is deceased right now. And so, really, the best case scenario is that somebody has picked her up and police will be able to find her that way. So, hi, Annie Lou. How are you? Hi, Hope in Jesus. Good to see you guys. Sorry about that. Kind of getting off on my mind ramble here. So, let me go ahead and hit play on this interview again.
Yeah. So now we have the FBI involved. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that's what I heard. Those good news from the investigators. That makes me feel great, and I hope we find her. I mean, we're gonna find her. We're gonna find her, and she's gonna come home safe.
Yeah.
When we
So
miss her, whoever sees her out there and she knows out there, that daddy's here waiting, and come home and love her. You know?
absolutely, we got tons of people out
Oh
there.
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, this is for rescue. They were offering. Oh, I've been getting help. Blessed. I know it's the blessing of God, first, and everybody supporting. I don't have words for thanking all this gratitude by the bottom of my heart. Thanks to everybody and all around the world. I know the prayers. That's what's holding me strong.
Nearly a week though. It's nearly a week that she's been missing. It's pretty tough.
It's tough.
Yeah. How are you and the family?
I'm
What is up with this reporter? She is like, "Oh, I know you're holding on to hope and you're holding on to prayers, but this is pretty bad. Like this is a bad situation. Like, oh, this got to be rough." Like, no, no crap. Like, hello, you don't have to point that out to him. You do not have to put that out to him. Hi, Cooter G. If she was on her normal route, they have already been searching it. I feel like they would have found her already, right? She could be in house as a hostage, possibly. I mean, obviously, the police are not going to every single door. You have to have reasonable cause. I'm sure that they are talking to anybody with cameras, maybe knocking on doors, handing out a flyer, but they're not going to be like searching every single house along the route. Unfortunately, unless they have reason to, which I know that there were sexual predators and things like that in the area that are registered. I guarantee you that police have already knocked on every single one of their doors and checked their alibis and things like that. But yeah.
Really good, a lot of support. You know, it's all over. But I know that some of them are not here. I'm from California. I've been here 13 years. You know, I just got like one cousin that's it here, but all my family's in California. But it don't matter where you're at, but the prayers. They told me universal, worldwide, wherever, global, in Mexico, and a lot of family in Mexico too, praying, supporting. That's what's sustaining me, my faith and all the prayers and the support.
It's got to be hard to not hear from her, for nearly a week and wonder where she could be.
Well, I worry a lot. I would say she didn't took nothing, no identification, nothing, or her cell. It's unusual, awkward. She's not the type of person who would have done something. I'm not saying she's a runaway or something, but it's totally I'm state of shock. But she ain't the type of person loving, caring, with her friends, going to school.
You have to trust the family in these situations. He knows her. He knows if she would have run away to go live her best life somewhere. That's not who we are talking about. That's not her personality. So we have to trust the family in that aspect that she's not just, a runaway. Something happened. Something serious is keeping her away from her family. Something serious has taken place that she is not able to go home for one reason or another.
Nothing out there drinking or anything, something, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that's
She
what we're
was
hearing from people.
yeah,
Complete
very
shock.
humble, caring, totally shocked. I mean, for myself, I just feel shocked. I would like to find her. Anything I know, we're doing an awesome job. Everybody, you guys too. Everybody out here, uh, all I got, what I have is just thanks to everybody here in community. I might know, but will they come in? Hey, anything we could do, support. I said just the prayers. All I think, the only thing I need is the prayers, and she's out there listening. That daddy loves her. Whoever, no, it hurts. It breaks my heart. And any leads, bring it to the sheriffs or she could come and she listen. We ain't mad. She just gotta come. I wish she would have told me something. I know stress gets in the way, emotions turn, but it was holding me. My faith. It hurts inside. I'm not I broke down a couple times. I still break when I go home. But I know the prayers are holding me down in my faith.
Amazing. Anything else you think, Blake? Anything else that you want to add into the story that we're leaving out?
What could say that? I mean,
Yeah, what does the family think that happened?
well, I mean, I didn't know she was going to stress, maybe stress, but they didn't tell me because I was telling myself, we're divorced. I'm a divorce. I'm not with the mother. We're not together. We've been divorced 11 years. That affected the first time, but she never had thoughts like that. I was always there for her. Whatever she needed, bought her a car.
I know
just like,
we saw reports of this being considered like a mental health, the mental
no,
health
I
concern,
never
nothing
had no
like that.
mental, no depression. She was athletic.
Yeah.
She goes to work out at the gym, athletic. Walks, and
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what they're going for, Ramblin'. Like, this reporter wants him to get emotional on camera. She wants him to, like, break down and things like that, and she's like, "Oh, well, you're relying on God? Well, here, let me stab you with my words a little bit and see if I can get a better reaction from you." Like, no, dad he seems chill. He seems very put together, as a lot of men are in interviews, right? They're usually the strength, where they are able to stay calm, cool, and collected in situations like this. That's why oftentimes you see men take the lead in some of these cases. Not all the time, right? There are some very, very strong women out there that sometimes will push the advocacy and I think of Candace Cooley, right? The search for her son. But a lot of times in traumatic situations, uh, men just are more composed. That's kind of like their thing. That's what they're created to do, right? They're created to be put together. Not us. We get irrational, we ramble, we think about every possible case scenario, and we struggle with stress and anxiety, and they do, but they're able to like internalize it better, I feel like. Maybe it's just me, but I know I would be a wreck. I know I am a wreck whenever bad things happen. So, and even whenever I go into like my mom mode where I just have to push through and whatever, at the end of the day I'm still like so, and I'm sure he deals with that too, but this reporter, like, I don't know, she's very cringy.
Ride a bike and just athletic and real humble.
Do you think
Care.
it might have been some foul play involved in this, or what do you think, or where's your headspace at right now with all this?
Well, might be. I can't say. I don't know, because she wasn't like that. She ain't like that. I mean, I'm sorry. She ain't like that. Because I know she got baptized Christian, and you know, and all her friends they get around. Her best friends, Camila, Estrella, Sabella. She calls her Bella. They're awesome friends and family. And you go ask them, and they're all caring of their family. She put, she'll, she'll, she'll a caring person. She is. She's humble, and nothing. I hope it's there no foul play or nothing.
Right, we're not going up to that
No, no, no.
phase, right?
I only say if someone knows her, seen her, to bring it out to the media, sheriffs, wherever she's at. That's what I beg, like a father.
Thank you so much for talking to us. We
You're
appreciate
very
it.
welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank
Wish
you.
you all the best.
Thank you. I don't know how I did.
Good. I'll start with you. Just remind me of your first name and last name.
My name is Aitana Ponce.
And how do you spell your first name and your last name?
AITANA PONCE.
So this is a few of her friends now. We'll take a look at this and then we'll share her photo again, talk about again where she's missing San Antonio, things like that. And then I am going to have to jump off of this live stream for work, but just want to share a little bit more of this information. I think tomorrow we'll do a live where we kind of open up panel and just discuss things a little bit more. Than what we are today, because I'm curious to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Of course, with me being on the microphone, with me being in charge of this little button where I hit the live, it's easy for me to come up here and talk about what my thoughts and feelings are, but I really am curious where you guys' heads are at in this case, and in the other case as well, with Wynter Wagner and Christian Alexander Delgado. What you guys' thoughts are, if you think that he actually was misled to believe that she was 18 and things like that, right? Let's just pray he doesn't use past tense. Ugh, I know. The cringe factor whenever people then will attack him for that, right? He does say was at one point in that interview, but I think he's fine. I think it's very clear that there was no foul play on the part of the family. Thank God in Camilla's case. Unfortunately, she was on her daily walk. She always goes for a walk. She's very athletic. It was not uncommon for her to go for a walk. The uncommon thing was that she did not return home from that walk. So, did I show the video of her walking? I might not have. Let me play this interview. While this interview is playing, I'll pull up that video as well.
Amazing. And then same thing for you.
I'm Amanda Saldana, AMANDA SALDANA.
Great. So tell me a little bit about what we're doing out here. Tell me a little bit about, this is day 3 in the search?
Day 5.
Day 5? So what do we know so far?
Nothing much. I mean, we know that she went to her car in the morning, but that's really it. We just know, it's not like her. I don't think she's ever done this since we were kids. We grew up with her since we were little. She went to elementary with her, and all of our moms are family friends. So we just never, known her to be like that.
Same thing for you.
Yeah, she's always been probably the most cautious out of all of us, always had great intuition, so it's not like her to leave. And we don't know. We have no clue what happened.
When you first heard the news about her disappearance, what ran through your head?
That they were gonna find her right away. I thought that she just went on a walk or something. I didn't think that she went anywhere. Like I know my dad was the one that told me So I was like, no, Cammy, like I'll just call her real fast. But they were like, no, she left without her phone. Like they've been looking for her since Christmas Eve.
When was the last time you guys heard from her?
The last time I saw her was Thanksgiving. My family went out of town for Christmas, so we didn't really we were in Cali when we heard, and I mean I expected her to be back, you know, in a couple hours, but when they put out the report, I mean we couldn't even, you know, enjoy the holidays. We're just so worried about her and her family.
So what kind of person is Cammy? You said she's a very cautious person.
Very cautious, very sweet. I mean, just she was a great person. So I mean,
she is a great person.
I know this is kind of making you guys upset, and that's not what I intend to do. But what makes it so emotional for you right now?
Just that, I mean, we grew up with her, you know. Since we were babies, you know, there was millions of times where I know she lives down the street from her, you know, so we always had sleepovers in Amanda's house, and we walked her home so many times, you know, like we would walk through that same street that we walked every single day. And I just think it's crazy how, like, you know, the one time she went by herself, she didn't come back. There were so many times where we all wanted to, you know, like just I wanted, like, we always walked together. We always wanted her to sleep over, so we didn't all three walk by ourselves. But I don't know, I mean, there was no way that she just left, you know, especially for like Hispanics at least, it's such an important holiday, Christmas Eve. So I don't know, I just don't think she would have left for any reason on her own, you know.
Always had her phone, right?
Yeah, she always had her phone. She was a very big music person. She loved music, so if she went on a walk, I feel like she would have taken her phone for music at least, even if she didn't use it, even if she wasn't on it. But she was, out of all three of us growing up, the most paranoid. Every time that she wanted to go home, she made us take her. She made sure that we all three walked each other, so when we walked back, it was us two walking back by ourselves after we walked her home. If we didn't want to take her for whatever reason, we made sure that she stayed over so she didn't walk by herself, even if it was a few houses down, just to be safe. I mean, she always kept her mom updated if she needed to. She always had her location on. She always, I don't know, she's always been cautious. There's, you know, she's never been reckless, or she's never gone out and, you know, like gone crazy, like drunk or like partied or done anything like that. She's never been like that since we were little.
I same thing for you. You know, the emotions are really high right now. Tell me how you're feeling.
Honestly, just kind of in shock. I mean, we can't really believe that this is happening or that it's gone on so long. I mean, we just want her back.
Absolutely. If she's watching this and sees anything like this happening, what's the message that you want to get out to her?
Just come home.
Yeah, I mean, no one's, you know, we just want you back no matter what. Like, if you don't want us to question you, we won't. Like, I don't know. If anyone knows where she is, just bring her home. You don't have to say anything. You can just drop her off anywhere. You could just make sure that she's safe and she's good. I don't know. I want Cammy home.
Thank you, ladies. Now, where's the search happening today? I know that we're here. Is there anywhere else? Is everyone just kind of scattered, right?
Yeah, everyone's a little bit scattered. I know that we're kind of searching through Government Canyon a little bit, which is more by like Sotomayor High School and stuff. But I mean, it's really been everywhere. I mean, I think right now everyone's just kind of grasping at straws, every little place that they can go, every little place that we can think of. Because I mean, there's no way that there's nothing, you know, like there has to be something, especially like in this year, you know, 2025. There's no way that no one knows anything, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bring camera footage. Like, everyone has it. It has to be something. There has to be something.
Yeah.
Have you heard any leads yet? Anything?
No. I mean, not really. Everything's just a guess, you know.
Everything's just speculation, just kind of trying to make up our minds about, like, honestly, I'd rather her have ran away. You know, I'd rather her have just wanted to leave than anything else,
but
you know.
Regardless, I mean, we really don't believe she would have left, but even if she had thoughts about it, she wouldn't do it like this.
She's 19. She didn't have to disappear. She could have just took her car. She could have just done something else completely different.
Leaving with nothing, I mean, that just makes no sense.
I know. Thank you, ladies, so much for talking to us. And
I agree with that, though. Leaving with nothing, it doesn't make sense to me either. Um, Hope, I'm sorry. You totally should have said something like 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago in that video. Yeah, prayers for Camila and for those who love Camilla, I agree. So this one I'm going to show you the guys this one as well. So this one, they talk about the search, and more importantly, they have one of the searchers talk, and well, we'll just watch the whole thing. But he pulls up a map and he shows the orange lines, where they have tracked her, the scent dogs. And so the scent dogs come from her house area, and they come up and around to that road where they actually catch her on camera walking. The road where the car was driving. And so it kind of backs up also that footage that we see is actually her, and that it's not someone else walking in that video. So I'm sure that police are taking that into account as well.
Darian Trotter. Today marks day 4 since Bexar County Sheriff's deputies started looking for Camila Olmos. The 19-year-old went missing on Christmas Eve. Tonight, loved ones held a prayer vigil after spending the day conducting a search of their own. Fox SA's Phil Sterling was there and joins us live now with the latest. Phil.
Darian, it's been a long day for family and friends of Olmos. They've been searching neighborhoods, creeks, and trails for any signs of the teen, and they ended their day here at Ambassador's Coffee in the embrace of one another. A room full of young people at Ambassador's Coffee, all of them praying for Camila Olmos to come home safely.
I think it's very empowering, and it's a beautiful thing to see everyone come together.
It really should be loud enough, but I can check. I have my volume booster. Oh, it's not on this time. Let me get that. But that's all I can really do. Had to get you some headphones, Hope.
18-year-old was last seen on Christmas Eve, opening the back door of her car. Detectives believe she left her Northwest San Antonio home on foot.
We live not too far from where she lives, and we've seen people, walking in the woods, and everyone's looking for her.
But wherever you go. This morning, a volunteer group of around 120 people spread out, searching areas like this creek behind Evelyn Scarborough Elementary.
It's been going good. We've had a big turnout, and we're very thankful for the public for coming out and helping us look for Camila.
Frank Trevino, a volunteer, hovers over a map of the area. He says they have thoroughly searched a 2-mile radius around Olmos's home. The highlighted spots show where they've searched.
Scent dogs trailed her scent to these areas.
This little portion right here is the most important thing, right? Because the scent dogs do track her walking away from her home. So a lot of people were analyzing that video still shot that the police have put out, saying like, oh, it's a man, or there's a man hiding behind her car. Oh, it's this or that, right? There's so many. Oh my gosh, the Facebook group was going insane with people trying to say that there was somebody lurking in the thing behind her car. No, it was all enhanced. The one thing was a trash can that was on the video. Like, she walked away from the house. What happened after she walked away from the house is what we're trying to figure out. This wasn't something that happened in the immediate vicinity of right there on that camera that recorded her initially, right? This is the scent dogs track, this orange line, and I know it's kind of hard to see based off of your cell phone. Don't forget, if you swipe, like if you squeeze your fingers outwards, if you push your fingers outwards, you can zoom in on your phone right now to this screen. But you can see this orange line comes down this way, kind of through this neighborhood here, down again to this main road. And then this is kind of like the main highway here. And you can see it kind of flows down through here. And so this road right here is, I believe, according to that camera and what police have said, this is the road where the video footage of her walking was taken, based off of what I can see on the map. So I was trying to find this exact map online yesterday so that I could pull it up and grid it with you guys based off of Google Earth and things like that. But yeah.
That's what the orange is.
Correct.
So this is her orange walking down this path, which is her normal route according to what police said.
Frank says compassion from the community is what led to this
Bye, Ramblin' Rome. Have a good night.
grassroots search, but he's seen deputies in the field conducting a search of their own.
Been very good. As a matter of fact, 2 calls that we put in today for possible evidence. Bexar County Sheriff responded immediately.
Sheriff is asking anybody with Ring cameras to look over the footage, and anybody with information on where Olmos might be is encouraged to reach out to them.
So it almost makes me wonder, based off of that footage getting turned into them, though, if the person who turned in the footage had been watching this guy show kind of the route where the scent dogs had seen, and then being like, oh man, I might have actually drove past her. Right? So she is still missing, though. Very important, guys, for her to be found. I have seen different people being involved now. Texas EquiSearch has actually put up a post as well now. Again, there is an active clear alert for her. She is 19 years old, last seen on the 11,000 block of Caspian Spring Drive in San Antonio at 6:58 a.m. is when that video footage initially that they put out caught her. I believe he said it was 7:11, I think, the morning that she was walking, that the other camera caught her. So she was last known to be wearing baby blue pajama bottoms. It was actually shorts. This says pants. Black and blue baby blue hoodie with white shoes, and her personal belongings and vehicle were left behind. Her mom did say that she may have her ID on her, which in my opinion probably is not that uncommon in that area. If you are of a different if you're I don't know, if you have any type of mixed nationality or any type of whatever, with ICE being in the areas, totally understand why anybody would be carrying identification on them just in case. You never know when something's going to happen. And so not that uncommon to me. Now, with this area, they are saying, please note we are aware of the AI images that are sharing through social media. We apologize for this misconception. We are working to retrieve the original photo and video to update the post. So what happened is people are enhancing that initial photo, and they are saying, oh, well, this is her. This is her. This is, like I said, trash cans are people. She's being attacked and blah, blah, blah. No, she walked away from her house. Her scent dogs followed her down this path, down to where they eventually get her on a camera while she is walking. Where did she go from there? Was she picked up? Was she abducted? Did she physically harm herself? I don't know. There's a lot of questions. Prayers is probably the most important thing right now, to keep her family and her in prayers until she is brought home safely. Like I said, tomorrow we'll go live. We'll open up the panel for anybody who wants to come up and kind of discuss the case and look at some more information also while we're doing so. But I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. I am officially late for work. I love you guys so much. Thank you all for coming. Don't forget to hit the like button if you have not done so already. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.